Here we are, part 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet arc. As always, be sure to watch all of the previous videos in the playlist to get caught up on all the events and everything related to Thanos. Before we get going though, I must mention that Thanos makes an appearance in issue 26 of Quasar. Now Quasar, who was basically, he replaced Marvel as protector of the universe. Remember that Captain Marvel was the first person to defeat Thanos, in which he obtained the cosmic cube back then. But going on in that series, Eon was killed in a conflict between Quasar and Maelstrom, and Eon was the 8 billion-year-old cosmic being that enlightened Captain Marvel so that he was ready to defeat Thanos. The important thing from this is how Thanos really saw Maelstrom and Eon as powerful could-be enemies, and they are now out of the picture. Eon's funeral is actually taking place in issue 26 of Quasar, that of which Thanos shows up interrupting that funeral and ends up fighting Quasar. He then revives 4 previous wielders of the same quantum bands that he possesses and leaves Quasar to fight them all. So if anything, we haven't learned anything new about Thanos. He's still cocky and can do whatever he wants, but the cool thing that we did get in this issue was that Silver Surfer, I guess it had more to do with Silver Surfer. Her, that's her name, her, flies to see Silver Surfer because she can sense residue on Silver Surfer from her male counterpart. Spoiler alert, she's obviously referring to Adam Warlock, who Silver Surfer visited in the Soul World. Anyway, let's get into it. Part 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet. We begin this issue with the world scrambling with some of the Avengers attempting to help. We also see Quasar get approached by a cosmic being from another universe. A lot is going on, as you can imagine, because half the population has been eliminated. The coolest thing perhaps is this scene with Doctor Strange though. He brought in Henry Pym to help with restoring Silver Surfer's powers. And as Pym is leaving, Doctor Strange, he zones out and is contacted by some being that claims that, he may be of help in defeating Thanos. Strange doesn't know who this is, but he trusts him after he opens his soul up to him. We don't quite yet know who this is. We then get to see Drax, Firelord, and Eros over at Titan discussing the fact that half the population has been wiped out. Remember, Mentor was part of the population that disappeared. But out of nowhere, Eros disappears, and it has nothing to do with Thanos snapping his fingers. It's basically because he got transported by Thanos to his whereabouts, so now he's in the custody of his brother. Eros has the power to manipulate these emotions Thanos sees is coming, so he literally takes his mouth off of his face. So what you're seeing here is not a list of Avengers or heroes that can help. It's a list of heroes that have apparently disappeared in result of the finger snap. There's also this bearded version of Thor that isn't the real Thor. So they are limited in terms of heroes that are available that even stand a chance. In fact, we get this scene with Odin chatting with other Skyfathers like Zeus and Osiris, saying that they must link up to stop this threat, so it's real. Next, we see Quasar, who remember was summoned by a cosmic being that favors the now dead Eon and is from another universe. Then Dr. Doom, of all people, shows up at Doctor Strange's place, where it looks like Silver Surfer has now woke up. Using his tech, he traced whatever is going down with this great disappearance back to Strange's place. So he's there demanding, a briefing as to what the hell is going on. But out of nowhere, guess who pops up? Adam Warlock. Now, this was a story brewing, but I didn't mention it because it wouldn't have made any sense to you. But 3 losers ended up driving themselves off a cliff starting in part 1 of this arc. After they died, Adam Warlock and company ended up transporting their souls to their dead bodies. The female disappeared due to Thanos' snap, but Warlock and Pip Patrol are now back in the flesh. If you remember, Warlock is the second person to defeat Thanos, so he's no longer in the soul world, he's right here on Earth in the flesh. So the entity that was communicating with Strange in the last issue ended up being our man Adam Warlock. He is here basically saying that they need to follow him so they can defeat Thanos because he's the one person that understands the secret workings of the Infinity Gems. Meanwhile, Thanos is pissed off that even though he eliminated half the universe, Mistress Death neglects him still. This makes him so angry that he creates a psychic wave of power that blows up a red giant star and looks to be on its way towards Earth. We then see even the mighty Galactus saying that his own power is nothing compared to Thanos' power, now infinite power that is, and he realizes that he must form alliances. So we are getting a glimpse of different characters recognizing these threats. We even get a Wolverine sighting. Perhaps the most mind-boggling of it all is a scene where the wave hits the west coast of the United States and it puts it underwater, and there's nothing the West Coast Avengers and Iron Man could do about it. Everything is hitting the fan. Even the Asgardians and the other Sky Gods have been cut off from Midgard and stuck on Asgard. We see Prince of the Moor, the submariner, notice that hell is breaking loose in the waters, which ends up sending a tidal wave that's a quarter-mile high towards the East Coast. Easter egg. This is the early 1990s, back when everybody thought Donald Trump was cool, before he put an R next to his name and everybody went full NPC. So we see there's a Trump Tower here as well. Look at that reference. Anyway, but Japan, that's going too, by the way. Hell is broken loose, and Captain America and Nick Fury have sent messages for any paranormals that can help out in this crisis. So tornadoes, dead people, tidal waves, it's nuts. And that's how we end part 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet. That wraps it up for Who is Thanos part I don't really know by now. Be sure to keep up and keep it locked on the playlist for everything that is Thanos related. Until next time, y'all be easy.